Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 8th of June, comes to you from London, and it's election day here in the UK. So, interesting to see if there's an impact on markets, and we'll see that more tomorrow when the results start coming in. But the dollar index is still struggling, so we're still in this medium-term downtrend. Long-term uptrend still in place, but really coming under pressure, and we are seeing again just teetering along the floor at this mid 90s level, and we have got a new downside target here as well, not activated yet, but it is suggesting that we're falling lower still. Last year we fell to 92.50 here on the weekly chart. Actually, it was just a bit below the 92 level. The key thing is, will we go below that level? That would be the sure sign that we're seeing a long-term decline in the dollar. But at the moment, that's not yet happening. Looking at the euro, again, we had quite a sharp fall yesterday. We've recovered some of that, and this is just hitting long-term resistance as well on the cloud. So interesting to see. Key thing is, can we go higher than these columns where these downside targets were given? We've still got these downside targets here as well. So interesting. We've got short-term upside targets that are activated, a new little downside target that's not. So it's still looking pretty bullish for the euro. And looking at the Japanese yen, it's bullish on all three time frames. This is dollar weakness, Japanese yen strength. So we're seeing here long-term bearishness against the yen for the dollar, medium term and short term bearishness as well. So the yen still looking strong, and quite a bit of support here to as well. So the interesting thing will be, can the dollar reverse this trend? Looking at sterling, it's up this morning. It was through the 130 level, but we are just sitting here at just at the high 129 mark. So key thing again is it's bullish on the medium and short-term charts. Will we see a higher level on the long-term charts? So that's the key thing. We've still got work to do really for sterling to go through a long-term reversal. Looking at euro sterling, we're seeing sterling has the upper hand at the moment. Against the Swiss franc, we're seeing a recovery. We do still have this downside target hanging over us of 4% downside, but we are seeing a short-term recovery at the moment. And against the Aussie, Aussie dollar strength is playing through here. So sterling is recovering a little bit, but the Aussie dollar is still stronger. The S&P 500 index didn't change much yesterday, but we're still looking very bullish, as is the Nasdaq. Dow Jones, we can see here, still struggling to break out above this February high. On the weekly chart, we are just seeing that it is moving a bit higher there, and the Russell 2000 much the same, just waiting for the break. The futures this morning, S&P future is up 0.1%, the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.1%, so no real clear heads up that the markets will go much higher, but it's slightly up. FTSE is very slightly down a couple of points, but we are just seeing through the cloud on the short term, election uncertainty just having a little bit of an impact here. And the FTSE 250, while it's up this morning very slightly, it is down below the cloud as well. So we are just seeing a short-term sell-off in UK stock markets. The DAX is bullish on all three time frames, but has had a tough week. And looking at the Nikkei, again, that stronger yen just starting to play through a little bit, but still bullish above the cloud. Hang Seng looking bullish on all three time frames, and Shanghai looking much better, recovering off that double bottom, so looking bullish as well. Sensex is off a little bit, but still looks amazing on all three charts. And the Australian market is just turning bearish medium term, and the short term is pretty bearish as well. We have got support here. If we go below the levels we've just seen, that's another 5% downside for the Aussie market. Brent had a very sharp sell-off yesterday on US oil inventories, and we're seeing here that we are just moving lower. This morning we're just recovering a little bit, but we're seeing really big down day yesterday, and that's consistent with the seasonality of crude, where this time of year we start to see the sell-off. So we expect these levels to come under pressure. We've got a new downside target of 36.27, which is activated. with yesterday's move. So that is pretty significant, and it's looking like crude will go quite a lot lower yet. And we're seeing WTI, it given this downside target of 45.89, that's where we went to yesterday with the sell-off. 37, that target has been hanging over us for some time. So again, crude set to fall further. US nat gas just holding the $3 mark, but not much action there as well. Just looking at some of the soft commodities, cocoa is down and still looking pretty bearish on all three charts. Not much action elsewhere. Wheat is up 2/3% and looking better on the short and medium term charts. And if we look to corn, much the same thing. So we're seeing some softs actually just putting in some quite decent recoveries. Gold has been a really big story, reversing these long-term trends on the point and figure charts. Bullish on all three time frames, just selling off a little bit on the short-term chart. Interestingly, we've got a new upside target out of this breakout column, 6% upside to 1363. We have just pulled back a little bit off that, so we've got a little downside target back to the bottom of that range of about 1263. So it's upside versus 6% upside versus just under 2% downside at the moment. But if we move higher than that high we've seen, and we did just go slightly higher than the high in April, if we move higher than that high we've seen, then that activates another big run in gold. So we are just seeing that looking pretty interesting. Silver also is just turning bullish in the medium term, so also looking interesting, although the long-term point and figure chart hasn't yet turned bullish as gold has. US Treasuries just sitting at 2.19%, looking like a short-term recovery kicking in here, but a pretty mixed picture. Tech stocks, Apple still pretty flat. We can see across the last few weeks just really not much action in the price, but looking good long term. Google still steadily climbing the hill. Amazon as well climbing well. Facebook just short term a little bit of turbulence, but really still looking great with lots of upside targets, as is Microsoft having a really good run this month. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.